All right, we're back live. I need to get a link out. Which I'm about to do. All right. Well, there will be no one here, but again, this is just a first attempt. So this is live trading now, folks. It's 8:30 in London. Is it? Yes. So in about, the markets should start moving fairly soon, the London session. Now, the only one, and I'll refer you to the video that I've just uploaded. You'll have to check the system because I'm now upload that into the members area too. The video I've just recorded explaining how the system works, I'll upload in the members area, but it is on the link in the members area above the link for this video, but it will be uploaded. So we're looking to buy Bitcoin today. We're looking to buy gold using the system. Don't confuse it with our swing trading, nothing to do with it. We're looking to buy NASDAQ, and we're looking to sell natural gas. The only one that has an RSI approaching, and what actually has been oversold, is Bitcoin. And we're looking for a bounce here. We have a reversal pattern candle, but let's just wait 5 more minutes. I'm going to zoom into the Bitcoin chart because we're focusing on this now. And I said in the last video, we have a swing low there, a sweep through that low last night, right? We got short there, just to test. And we're now coming back to retest that level. And we're back oversold. We actually had a signal to buy over here earlier in the day, but it was out of our time period. We're back there now, and we're moving into the volume period. I haven't put the volume indicator on here, but we'd want to be seeing volume. Ideally, I can do that just now. But I'm just watching these candles at the moment. 5-minute candles, oversold RSI, little reversal doji there, near support, but it's not convincing. And there's plenty of time. We don't want to rush into a trade. Everything's set up to go long, but we don't have a very convincing or dramatic reversal candle. And so we'll just keep watching these 5-minute candles as we go. Please feel free to put up any questions if you have any. And I'm also going to put a QR code up in the top left-hand side right now so that you can click on this or scan it with your camera, rather, to join the private group. I hope this is in fact running. Yes. All right. Just bear with me for a second. All right. Yeah, so there's a QR code in the top left-hand side of the screen. As you're all members already watching this currently, but if you're not a member later on, if you watch this later on, you can click on that QR code. Up there. Up there. All right. Let's get back to the charts. All right, so it's moving down again now. Let's get this microphone sorted out. All right, so we're still watching Bitcoin. We want to buy the dip because We have a positive setup with the green moving average crossing over the red one, holding above it. That's the 20-period moving average on the 4-hour chart, superimposed on the 5-minute chart. This is the 20-period moving on the day chart, simple moving average, superimposed on the 5-minute chart. And we're in what looks like a little bearish flag or a potential reversal diamond-shaped pattern here. A diamond would be something like that, if you can imagine it. I'm not going to clutter up with the lines, but moving up there, moving down there, up there, down there. A diamond-shaped pattern. Also a reversal pattern, sometimes called a lozenge. Right, let's keep looking at here. Now, this little candle, 5-minute candle, is forming another reversal. We've just rolled over into the next candle. So 2 doji candles. But these are hesitation candles. Doji candles are hesitation candles. They're not reversal candles. We want to see something a little bit more impressive than this. As we're looking at this, you can see gold is barely moving, holding strong after a big rally. Big dip down on the weekend with oil and natural gas moving up. You can see oil is now moving down. This is the day chart for oil. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, a bit of a spike up after the peace treaty wasn't agreed upon, or there wasn't one, but not pushing up through there. This is the 4-hour chart now. And, not catastrophic yet. Brent crude moved up to its 20-period moving average. Over here in the middle, that's the selling zone for Brent crude. If you're trading Brent crude, that's a good zone to sell. Probably a good zone to sell WTI too. Natural gas bouncing out, holding this wedge. We're looking at this now, right? This is why I was long, I am long, bouncing out, gapping up, just filling in that gap. Go back to the short-term charts. Yeah, so gold just squiggling along, everything not just drifting really, except for Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is trying to make a bounce here. I might get long, and we can put a pretty tight stop loss on this. And I think we can go with probably the stop loss at, let's just get it set up, 74.90. 74.90. That's take profit, damn it. Let's go for 72,000. Stop loss 74.90. And we'll go for 1 Bitcoin here, not a lot. Should we do it now? Let's do it just to illustrate. Let's go. We're going to be risking $300. That's okay. And we'll set the target properly just now. But I think the target should be, I think we should go for this moving average. I think we should go for, let's go for 72,000. Let's leave it as is. So we stand to gain $1,200 from this and lose 273. I think we can go with that. 6-to-1 risk reward. That's all right. All right, I've taken the trade and I'm risking just a couple $100 here, 273 to be precise, and I stand to win 1,238. This is not the best trade setup, and I don't expect you to take it. I don't want you to take these trades. I'm experimenting here with you, but do what you want, of course. But this is the setup. So as I say, this is not the best setup, but we have a good structure here with a sweep down below the left-hand side shoulder and a bounce out of the same level right now with an oversold RSI in the correct direction of the 20s crossover. 20 on the 4-hour, 20 on the day. Positive crossover, long, bouncing out of fairly good support. You got to admit, if we look to the left-hand side, all of this whole area here and the current zone. So, I think that adds a little bit more strength to the trade as a proposition, even though we don't have the best candle action going on. Now, as we're talking, we're moving up. We've already got 47 bucks in profit. And with, as luck would have it, we're doing okay on this particular trade. At some point, we'll want to tighten our stops. As soon as we get a little bit of space away from the launch point, we want to tighten the stops. And the reason for that is we can further reduce the risk-reward ratio on most trades fairly quickly, but also increase the risk of being stopped out for a small loss, of course, within chop, but at the same time increasing the reward to risk ratio overall on average, which will make your overall P&L on average better, even though your win rate will drop a little bit, if you understand what I'm saying. And please, folks, please do feel free to put up any questions or comments. I see there are a couple here. Yeah, thanks, Steve, M1N1. Thanks, mate. I'm glad you're here. There's someone here at least. Hello, Amkar. All right, so we're doing okay. Let's get rid of that QR code. Well, I'll leave it there for people that come in and watch later. All right, folks, I don't know if any of you in the private group like this sort of format, or if you want to do this, or if you enjoy the more time with me during the day. Hello, Gillian. If you enjoy more time with me during the day or whatever, you know what I should do, actually? I should move my... No, I won't do that. Anyway, hello, Julian. Yeah, so I don't know if you enjoy this sort of thing or how many people enjoy it or whether it's worth the effort, but I'm going to be day trading Bitcoin and some of these other names, gold and NASDAQ. Not so much. I'm more interested in Bitcoin and gold, really. And I prefer to swing trade NASDAQ and natural gas. But, let's give it a go. Let's go back to that chart. The Bitcoin chart. So the reason I like Bitcoin is that it trades for day trading. And many people will say, well, it's very dangerous to day trade Bitcoin. I disagree. It's very volatile, but we have very clear and good technical levels. And if you understand the idea that the market often sweeps on cryptos, in other words, we have a low and it's obsessed with taking the low out first and then moving on up, or the other way around. Obsessed, absolutely obsessed with it. So if you understand the obsession with sweeping, Bitcoin can be traded quite well intraday because it does have good technical levels, allowing for the sweeps. And it also has plenty of volatility and plenty of trending during the European and New York sessions. And so we can latch onto some of that movement and get good profits. Like, for example, today, I already had 50 bucks profit on this trade. Now, if you were a smaller account trader and you're aiming for 50 or 100 bucks a day, let's say, or if you have a larger account and you trade with very low leverage like I do, so, 1 Bitcoin, I could put, 10 Bitcoin on, but I don't like taking that much risk. And also, I'm able to, make $1,000 a day by trading Bitcoin like this. But it's hard work, and it's something I stopped doing quite a long time ago, day trading, because I have had other interests and hobbies, flying drones being one of them. But quite a lot of other work, setting up the YouTube channel, and so you can't day trade at the same time. And other stuff. I got married, for example, at the age of 55, and so on. So all of that stuff took me away from day trading. But ultimately, it's really nice to be in and out of a trade, within the day, and be out of the market by the day's close, and to have a bit of cash. So you can see we got to, if your goal is to make 50 bucks a day or 100 bucks a day, that's enough for you to live on. And for some people, many people, it might be, I mean, I could live on $100 a day quite easily. I don't have any bills. I don't spend a lot of money. There's nothing, I mean, anyone could live on $100 a day easily. So if that's your bag, day trading, and you want to get 50, $100 a day, this is a really good way of doing it. And you only have to trade maybe Bitcoin and gold or something, or natural gas, or NASDAQ, any of these actually. So you can see the way I've set my trading view charts up. We'll talk about that as we go along too. If you don't have trading view, it's quite difficult to get these indicators set up the way I've done it. And so it's a good idea to get trading view. And if you're trading just one instrument like Bitcoin or natural gas, you can just use the free trading view version, which allows you to have one chart, I think, or maybe two on your screen simultaneously. Maybe it's just one. You can let me know in the chat if you use trading view. But whether it's one or two, that should be sufficient really for your needs. Julian, I'm not talking about gold today, mate. We're day trading here. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I think it is. I think it certainly is. The problem is we don't have many private group members, Steve, and I'm not advertising it now much. And so, eventually it'll dwindle down to nothing. And I can't honestly be bothered to, excuse me, I honestly can't be bothered to start up a new YouTube and, go and try and spread my message around and advertise the private group. And it's a lot of work, the private group as well, on top of everything else. And I've now been hacked. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But I really don't feel like I want to go advertising it too much anymore. And so it will dwindle down in numbers. And so my return on effort becomes smaller and smaller over time, as you might imagine, which is a bit of a problem, really, because I like to go full on into things. My trading is my main full-on thing. And I enjoyed doing the YouTube stuff. I really did. And the private group, of course, I love it. But it is dwindling. Not really. I mean, we've still got 130 members, but excuse me, and I've got a hoarse throat. I'm going to turn this microphone off for a bit and cough, if you don't mind. All right, cough done. Maybe not. Yeah. So Steve, yeah, it's a dwindling return on my time investment, basically. And so, yeah, Julian, just trying to, sorry, mate, I was a bit brusque with you there, asking about gold. I explained my view on gold in detail, Julian, in the live stream last night, which is up on this channel. So go and check that out. I'm bullish on gold on the short-term charts, and I'm long on gold on my swing trading, but I'm not too convinced of it on the long side. Yeah, it does give you a great idea. And my thought process, I try to read my thoughts out aloud. I try to tell you what I'm thinking. Yeah, we'll see, Steve. Yeah, I don't know. But, the folks that are here already in the private group have been such a wonderful support over years now. I can't believe it's all about 4 years that I've been doing this, 4 years. This is for members only, Omkar. Yeah, nothing else has changed, Omkar. This is just for members. Nothing has changed. This is an add-on, Omkar, an addition to members. Something's extra, all right? Free, extra. It's not anything different. We are still swing trading as normal. This is day trading. And there are some people who keep on asking me in the private group about day trading. Can we do some day trading? Can we talk about day trading? Can we day trade? And so we're going to day trade. Just try it out. Right, let's have a look at what's going on. Let's get this chart back up. This is what we're doing here, right? I'm scanning across. So gold still moving higher. Remember, I'm long on gold, long on NASDAQ, long on Bitcoin, and long on natural gas on my swing trading. And I don't want you to be confused. I have to repeat this all the time. Because people are coming in and out. I don't want you to commit. This has got nothing to do with the swing trading that we do in the private group. This is an extra thing that people have asked for to learn a little bit about day trading, some of the fast movers in a fast moving market, which is, speeding up as the world becomes more chaotic and things become more frantic and traders become more scared when there's a lot of fear and greed and doubt, and there's nothing that brings fear and greed out more and better than war does. And when you get a lot of fear and greed, FUD and stuff around, markets tend to move. That's what we want as day traders. So the more FUD, the more greed, the more bad news, the more stuff that goes on, the more volatility we get, the more chances we get to trade. See, I've got some notifications in circle there. Piotr has asked me. Pietro is saying in the private group, did you add more WTI shorts at 95.20? And Pietro, I don't know why you're not here. You can come and ask me yourself live, but I'm reading back through our trade alerts here in the private group to see what my instruction was. And let's have a look. I think it was 96.20, not 95.20. Yeah, we wanted to add some more at 96.20 short on WTI oil. And we only got, and that's where the gap is, right? Can you see that? I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. It's actually great because we can talk about swing trading at the same time using the same charts. No, I wanted to sell Piotr. If you watch this at all, I want to sell there at the top of that gap. Did I say 96.20 or 95.20? Damn, I can't remember. Yeah, anyway. Not yet, Piotr. Come chat in the stream. Piotr. Come chat in the stream. All right, let's get these charts back to where we were. Yeah, I wanted to sell at the top of the gap here on WTI, but maybe also at the channel center line. I don't think we quite got there anyway. We only got to, I wanted to go 98.20. That's what it was, 98.20. Yeah, it was 98.20. And we only got to 98. Oh, anyway, my order wasn't triggered. 98.10 with a spread. So I didn't get short, but it came close. You're quite right, Piotr, if you're watching. Let's go back to the scalping chart. It's a pity that. But it doesn't matter. We've got plenty of shorts on oil already. So, we've got them all built up here. And more messages in circle. Mikola has joined the community. Fantastic. All right, folks. So coming back to the day trading chart, we have one trade open. That's Bitcoin long. I'm looking to get long on gold, NASDAQ, and I'm looking to get short on natural gas. Remember, this has nothing to do with our swing trading. This is a demonstration of an intraday trading setup. and I'm still long on natural gas, okay, on swing trading. This is something completely different and not to be confused. Please do not be confused. Do not. Just don't. Don't. Right. Yeah. So, like I was saying, Steve, there's still 100 and something folks in here in the private group. Quite a lot of people are not paying or paying low amounts, as a follow spillover from people who bought courses or joined years ago for $50 or $60. So, quite a lot of people are paying a fairly small amount. Some people are paying a little bit more, but it's not a lot of money. I promise you. I can make a lot more money doing other stuff in trading, basically just trading, which is how I make most of my money. But the private group started off a long time ago as something envisaged to be completely different. In fact, we had a Telegram. It started off in Telegram, and some of you will remember. It started off in Telegram, and the idea was to send automated trading signals from my charts, like you see something similar, day trading signals from, let's say, this chart. Not automated, not AI or algorithmic stuff based on my own entry triggers, but they would be sent automatically to Telegram through an API, and just signals, so a pure signal service. And it evolved from Telegram into not the signal service, and evolved into more of a support group like we have now. And then we moved to Discord. We got hacked in Telegram. We got hacked in Discord. We then moved to Slack. Slack was pretty useless and very expensive. $10 a member, $12 a member now, I think it is, they wanted. And if we didn't pay, it wasn't secure enough. So we moved from Slack to Circle, and it's just got bigger and bigger and more technologically empowered. And here we are now in Circle with YouTube streaming and everything. And it started off literally just as a Telegram channel with signals. And people started asking, can we have a little bit more? And I just told you the path of evolution. And so here we are with this sort of quite large community. We did have a pretty large YouTube channel, which is hacked and gone. And maybe it's a good time to downsize, Steve. Maybe it's a good time to just focus on trading. And as I said, I want to benefit from the volatility that we've got going on in the markets. We've had a very quiet period up until Trump arrived, and then we started off with the tariff sell-off, the Brett thrust out of there. Then we had now this war and all sorts of other stuff. So volatility has picked up, and I need to be trading. And maybe this is the best way. If you want to stay around in the private group and day trade with me, maybe we just day trade. Maybe that's what we'll do. And of course, I'm always going to be swing trading, so we can do that at the same time. So day trading and swing trading in the private group. But as I said, the membership will slowly drift away unless I market it, and I don't really feel like marketing it. So I don't want to spend my time marketing stuff. I want to be day trading, swing and day trading. So anyway, the point is, don't panic if you're in the private group. We're going to carry on. I'm not shutting it down. I'm not probably going to get going back on the YouTube channel in earnest again. Probably not going to happen. But we do have this channel now, and we can communicate together like this. That's great. But don't panic. We are still doing everything that we have been doing. This stuff is just an addition. That's all. Nothing weird. But over time, it might become unsustainable for me to carry on with this group unless something changes. Maybe it's a smaller group with higher fees. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's free just for a few friends and people that have been loyal to Arcus FX in the past. Something like that. I don't know. I just don't know. But we will figure it out. As you know, this thing about life is that we always try to be in control and have a plan and have a strategy. Trading is the same. We want to know what to expect, what to plan for. But life never is like that. Trading is never like that. Anyway, thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, there are a lot of people. Sure. No, I honestly have, it's a wonderful community of people. And I've got to know some friends actually, which is really nice and pretty cool. It's, a lot of it is about building a community and making friends, and it's not about money. This really has never been, this private group and YouTube, as I told you, it's never been about making money. It just grew out of something that I was trying, and these things grow. It's like a weird, it grew out of something completely different that I was trying. And now we've got people that have become friends and a community that I feel obliged to continue with. So I shall do that, if that makes sense. So it was going to be an automated AI robotic trading signal system into Telegram, and it became an intimate community on Circle. It's really, really strange. All right, so here we go. But at least I'm not bailing out on it. I'm committed to it, and at least I understand that everyone that is here because they, it's valuable to them, and it's important for their trading journeys. And so I don't just bail on people, even if I'm not making any money from it. It's not the most important thing to me. And I don't even need money. As I said to you, I have almost no bills. I live a very, very simple life. I invest in Bitcoin and property, and I eat bread and cheese and drink Red Bull. That's a bit of a vice, I have to admit. This stuff's not cheap. I go through a few cans of this every day. That's a bit of an expensive vice, let's be honest. But no other expenses, and a little bit of, I don't even own the place that I live in because I don't want to own property in the place that I live in. I own property elsewhere. So I don't have much of a rental bill either. So it's pretty cool. Keep your life simple. Don't clutter it up with too much junk. Invest in assets wisely and live a simple life with the rest of the money that you have, and be happy. Don't try and accumulate assets which are not going to appreciate, which will rust away, unless you really have a lot of money and you really enjoy a Maserati or two, or a Bugatti. It's not my thing. Anyway, I now am definitely rambling as Bitcoin is dripping down. Yeah, so remember I said to you on Bitcoin, it likes to sweep. There's the trades. Oh, and yes, I said I'd be trading this on live money. This is a, by the way, if you go to TradingView, and there's a little thing, I think you've got to be a member. Maybe you don't have, not a member, a TradingView subscriber. Maybe you don't have to be, a paid member, a paid subscriber. But right at the bottom of your screen, there's a little square block. If you click on there, you can get, and then you'll see paper trading. And you can see, if you click onto paper trading, you can get this demo account directly onto your TradingView accounts, on your charts, and trade this off the charts. I trade my Black Bull broker off the TradingView charts like I'm doing here, like this. So you can see your trade, and it's great for day trading because swing trading, it becomes a mess because I've got hedges, longs and shorts all over the show. And if you look at I like to see what's going on the price section. So if you've got stuff all over your charts, it's a mess. But so I generally try not to put all the prices and labels on my swing trading charts. But when you're day trading and you've only got one trade on each chart live and one direction, we're not hedging. We're using hard stops. We're not hedging, and we're just trading as normal. You only have one position open. You might have one or two or three maybe, but they'll all be in the same direction, and it's much easier to track. So if you go to your TradingView charts and click on that thing there that says paper trading, and you can set up like this and just start paper trading. And I'd encourage you to do that if you're interested in doing this day trading or any other trading. If you're new to it, do some paper trading. And trading, you used to have to open demo accounts with brokers. You can't believe the hoops that we had to jump through when I started trading in 1993 or 4, whenever it was. There were only a couple of brokers, Money Garden and FXCM, and you could only really only trade Forex. There weren't a lot of retail brokers around for other – markets at all. Forex was the thing. And so, and setting up charts and brokers and demo accounts. You could have a demo account with Oanda was around at that time as well. The three brokers I remember: Oanda, Money Garden, which was called MG Forex. I don't think they're still around. MG Forex, Money Garden, great name. I loved it. I used to trade with Money Garden, was my broker, Money Garden, and the other one was FXCM. But they all offered demo accounts, but the demo accounts only lasted 30 days, and you had to renew your demo account all the time. And you could only trade single lots, $100,000 at a time, a single standard currency lot, 100,000 US dollars. So you'd be risking $10 a pip on every trade that you took, even if you had a live account. It was only years later that mini accounts started appearing. So you could have a live account with $100,000 lots on euro dollar, for example, or you could have a mini account much later, not in the beginning. So we had to use $100,000 lots starting off as Forex traders, retail traders, trading with $100,000 lots. So I had a $50,000 trading account, my first trading account. And so the very least I could risk was a 2-to-1 leverage. I had to take at least $100,000 against my $50,000 trading account using a 2-to-1 leverage before I even started. And if you only had a $5,000 trading account, you'd be trading at 20-to-1 leverage unavoidably. That's the only way you could do it. When they introduced mini accounts, that was 1/10 the size, and lot sizes were $10,000. And you could trade on a separate mini account, not on your other account. You had to have a different account with a mini account with $10,000 lots, and you could trade those. So if you have a $5,000 account, you could trade at a minimum a $10,000 lot, which is still 2-to-1 leverage. So pretty tricky. And on top of that, the spreads on the euro with between 3 and 4 pips aside, in and out, and the spreads on the rest of them. Euro was the biggest volume. The rest of them about the pound was like 5 pips. Some of the exotics were 7 pips, 0.7%, almost 1% spread back in the day. And demo accounts, which you had to renew every 30 days. And charts were absolutely abysmal. A lot of the time I drew my own charts on paper because the charting packages and software that brokers provided when you opened an account, and you could only use those charts if you had an account with that broker, a live account, or maybe a demo account too. But the charting packages were abysmal, totally useless. You do not know how spoiled we are today with these TradingView charts. There's only one company that really does as well as TradingView, and that's TradingView. There's eSignal that was around back in the day, 20, 30 years ago. It's still around. eSignal, very expensive. I used to use them as an alternative third-party charting system because the broker's charts were so terrible. But then we'd get different pricing on eSignal compared to the pricing that the broker was offering. And the brokers were also pretty unregulated. So they could offer whatever prices they wanted, really. It was the Wild West. They could put the spreads at whatever they want, 3, 5, 7, sometimes 12 pips on exotics like the British pound against the Japanese yen, not exotics, miners, Japanese yen miners, not miners with an E, with an O, like opposite of majors. So, 12 pips spread, 1.2%. So we were up against it. And I think that's what made a breed of traders coming out of the 90s such a tough bunch, including myself, because we had the very worst possible conditions to trade under when we started. And if you managed to get through a year or two of trading under those conditions as a retail trader, you were the best of the best, just to survive, just to get through it without blowing your account multiple times, which of course most of us did. But to come back and repeat and get better and get better and get better is more and more difficult. As the Bitcoin trade is dipping down, notice as well that gold, NASDAQ are overbought, and they've probably got to come back in to get these RSIs reset, which means Bitcoin will probably have to move down at the same time and reset its RSI. And so we've now come back down to the level that we got in, and our stop loss is down there. And we have to make a decision. Is this a failure to move up? And are we going to sweep lower down to our stop loss? We could do one of two things. We could get out of break even now, having failed here, and then rebuy the next move. Let's do that. So let's get out of this trade, minimize the loss. We're going to take a $4 loss on that position. All right. So we took a almost no loss. That candle has moved down. And now our risk reward situation going through today, let's say we take 10 trades. The first trade, our risk rewards calculation was we've now risked $4 to gain 1,000. All right. So it's whatever that is, 250 to 1 risk reward. And we've stopped it out at that risk reward at $4 loss because this candle is moving down, doesn't look good. Why stay in the trade? And because it's a 5-minute chart, the moment this turns back up and reverses back around in our favor, we can just get straight back in. So there's no harm getting in and out of a trade if it doesn't look like it's going your way. It's day trading. It's very, very fast. It's flexible. And we want to be nimble and not hold onto any trades at all. I'm not going to be averaging in. I'm not going, I might on occasion. I'm not going to make promises. Won't DCA in or out, maybe out, but not in. We're not going to be hedging. We're not going to be doing weird stuff. We're just going to be taking simple trades based on simple signals. And in this event, we got in, it moved up. We got 50 or 60. I think we got $100 profit at some point, 70, 79. And it failed and it started to move down back to our break-even point where we managed to get out because this chart has now failed. In the very, very, very short term, of course, we put this on a 1-minute chart, for example, you can see how it's failed. Let's not go for a 1-second chart. So if we put this on a 1-minute chart, there you can see how it's failed and shows up as a single candle on the 5-minute chart. And so we don't want to be hanging around in a failed trade. But if this starts moving up and breaks up through that high, that would be a good signal or indication that we can get back into the trade. We can now put the stop loss underneath the most recent swing low. That's this one over here that we've just double bottomed where we got long. And so we can get back in if we break higher and use that now as a stop loss level, keeping it super tight. We could get stopped out 5 times in a row, losing $3, $10, $50, $4, $9, and hit one trade and make 1,000, and then our day is done. That's the idea here. We want to hit 1 or 2 really good trades and be done with it. But if we have multiple small losses, that's absolutely perfectly fine. Our win ratio will be smaller. We've just taken technically a loss of $4. I'm calling it break even. It's really literally a break even trade, but let's call it a loss. And so we've started the day with a $4 loss. We might have multiple losses. It doesn't matter. And we might actually end up with, 5 losses and 1 win and still make $1,000. So that's the idea when day trading. We want to be incredibly nimble, incredibly flexible, and just use our heads a little bit. And we're making deals, right? We're wrangling, we're scrambling, we're hustling the market. It's not swing trading. Swing trading is smooth, it's slow, it's calculated. This is hustling. We're trying to scramble points out of the market on moves this way and that way. Just going to swing back to the big charts here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, all holding. Bitcoin futures dropped down a bit, big gap down. We've got a big CME gap above us now. Look at this. So that's good. We like those. We don't want the CME gaps below us. This is the Bitcoin CME chart on the futures. Look at that big CME gap. That's got to be filled. And so does the other one up here, right in the green zone at the 100-day moving average. We've got one CME gap now above us, a tiny one, and a very large one up here at about $80,000. And we're still in the empty zone, folks. Remember what I said about this, in the empty zone. We've got a free run through here if we can manage to keep the momentum up through this top. We've got a free run up to the CME gap and maybe even all the way up to 84. Let's have a look at the stock markets. So not too bad, we bought the dip yesterday, by the way. I hope you did this with me. The moment this market opened up last night, I bought NASDAQ and I bought S&P. There we go. There's my arrow. Look at that. And this was a beaut, absolute beaut. We opened up, gap down to the moving average there, and I got long immediately. Beautiful. And we bounced out. We were probably always going to fill the gap. So once we get up to the top of the gap, we'll have to see what happens, but or even the bottom of the gap. Yeah. Let's go back here. So I'm still looking to buy Bitcoin, and I'm still going to be working off this entry trigger that occurred down at the bottom here and on a close above that high. If we don't close above that high and we move lower, we'll have to reset the RSI back to oversold before we consider buying again. Nothing on the NASDAQ, nothing on gold. It's ticking down a little bit, and natural gas just ticking up a little bit. But the only trade position that we have on, or had on, was Bitcoin. I did have a couple of little trades there, but that was just testing out natural gas. As this moves up, I like the way this looks on natural gas, by the way. I haven't looked at natural gas on a 5-minute chart for many years, as you know, as a trading chart. But this looks good. I like the way it's pressing up into that level right there and really trying to shove its way up. But, you know, can it do it? Let's see. We'll find out soon enough. All right, so we've taken one trade today, and that trade was a loss of $4 on Bitcoin getting long. And you'll see now that if Bitcoin does actually crash down below through that sweep low, that we talked about over here, if we do get down through there and keep moving down through there, the RSI will reset most probably, and we'll get another chance to buy the proper sweep. Maybe we've got to really sweep this prior to the US market opening. So we have no more trades on at the moment, but still opportunity to buy Bitcoin. NASDAQ moving down. And so remember, we're looking to buy NASDAQ as well when we get an oversold RSI, and natural gas also moving down, but no signal on any of these just yet. Good morning, Piotr. We were just talking about you and about your questions. All right, folks, I'll be back with you in a second. I'm going to leave the charts running. All right, so it's just moving down a wee bit now, and just got through that little low that we were at. All right, so the RSI is about to reset, and that's good. And let's see what we do here now. We're at the action zone. Tempting to buy, but we must wait. Let's see what this candle can do. And actually, what I prefer to do is add the volume candle on here too. Let's put a bit of volume at the bottom here. See if we got any VUMA. So not a lot of volume so far. This will pick up when the US session begins. We go back to Friday's US session. Where was that? That was Sunday, I think. Saturday. Friday. Yeah, so here's Friday. This is the beginning of the US session. You can see how the volume picked up. Not a big move, not a lot of movement. It started earlier in the day. That was the actual signal down there. You can see the RSI oversold down into there, bouncing out with a big reversal candle. So let's see. We are now entering into the UK and European sessions. And maybe this candle we basically want to see a clear impulsive reversal candle. I think that QR code on the left is actually annoying. Let's get rid of that. I wish I could show it elsewhere. All right. Takes a bit of getting used to sitting around here with people in my office with me. Good morning, Peter. Did we sort out your question on whatever it was, oil, gas, oil, I think it was. Yeah, Bitcoin was good on the weekend. All right. A nice bounce here, actually. Maybe we can have a go. Remember, folks, this is not to be traded live. I'm trying it out with you. It's a demo account I showed you earlier. I will go onto a live account as soon as I can set this all up. But these are the setups. We're looking to get long on Bitcoin, gold, and NASDAQ on this day trading system and short on natural gas. I have not traded natural gas using this system before. So I'm flying blind, and I normally NASDAQ's fine, but only in the US session. It can get very choppy outside that and become, meaningless. Nevertheless, we're meant to be going long on NASDAQ, long on gold, long on Bitcoin. Yeah, head and shoulders, potentially, as you say. Is that what you're referring to there, Damajan? This little thingy here. Perhaps, maybe. Let's get rid of the volume. It's too annoying. Yeah, perhaps that's, a head and shoulders. We could, I think, set a target for that. Patterns, head and shoulders. I don't know, something like this down there. I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but maybe something like this. I don't know. I think we could get back up to that ledge, back up there. Something like that. Maybe that's what you mean. Anyway, I'm going to have a go here, I think, if we can get through that top. Of course, I do want it to bounce because I'm long on Bitcoin on my swing trades too. I'm long on natural gas on my swing trades, so I don't really want this to move down. I'm long on NASDAQ, long on gold as well. On the 4-hour, on the 4-hour. I don't know if you mean this this bit here, Damajan. In other words, the right shoulder is not formed, or are you referring to a much bigger picture? I don't know. No, not really. Anyway, it's not my favorite pattern, head and shoulders, so I generally don't look for them and often disregard them until you look at them in hindsight. You just don't know if it's going to be there until it's there, until it's actually formed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe it could be Damajan. Okay, so this is not convincing yet for me. But remember, we've got all the conditions in place. We have an oversold RSI. We have the 20-period moving average on the 4-hour chart above the 20-period moving average on the day chart, the simple moving averages in both cases, having crossed over and closed convincingly above. Even though the price is below the 20-period moving average on the 4-hour, which is in the very short term negative, it is above the 20-period moving average on the day chart. And the fact that the 20-period 4-hour is above the 20-period day is the requirement, not the price. The price must be oversold on the RSI and bouncing out with a very clear reversal. We've got all of that except for the reversal. And so we're going to be patient and wait. Sometimes day trading takes a long time to set up. But once you're in the trade, sometimes it moves super fast and it's over in a few minutes or hours. Sometimes it's quick to get into a trade. We've been in a trade already, for example, we could have held on to that trade. And sometimes you've got to hold on to the trade for the whole day. And sometimes even you've got to close the trade at the end of the day for a loss if you don't want to hold it overnight. And so we have a bit of a time factor here. The idea for day trading is not to sit at your computer all day in front of the screen. We've been here for an hour already, and I did another 45 minutes prior to this with a different video explaining how the system works, which you can review. So I've already been at this for an hour and a half at least, maybe closer to 2 hours, and yet no trades, taken a trade, and no profit. So patience is always required in trading, whether you're day trading or swing trading. Things move a lot slower than you expect them to. I watch day traders at Trader TV Live. I have been for years now. Friends of mine, Canadians who day trade stocks, something I don't do, stock names. And they're looking for 10-cent moves, 20-cent moves, $1, 70 cents, 50 cents. So it's not my style of trading. They do it very well. But, sometimes they're there for a whole day and make no money. Sometimes they hold trades for a very, very long time, hours and hours, make no money. So day trading isn't always quick as the price is jiggling around as we enter the European session and the London session. Yeah. So it can get boring. Even if, yeah, the neckline of the right shoulder. Yeah, but it's not a Head and Shoulders until it is it, Damajan? You bought membership on the channel that got hacked. Yeah, Mbent. Unfortunately, with this new channel, it's impossible to, I can't, there's no membership. It's not monetized, and I'm not going to monetize it. And so you can't join the channel. And even if I wanted to monetize it, I couldn't do so until there are 1,000 or something like that. I can't remember what the numbers are. 1,000 subscribers and so many watch hours, which takes months and maybe even years to achieve. And so, you know, there's going to be no membership and no monetization, and hopefully no adverts, because I'm putting the, I've switched the adverts off. So I hope that you're not getting adverts either, so that, you know, it doesn't bother you. Nice, nice, Tamajan. Euro New Zealand. Cool. What was the question there prior to that? Is Bitcoin going down? What do you mean by that, Manu? Today, in general, on the 5-minute chart, on the day chart? What do you mean? Yeah, yeah, you can't. It's unfortunate, and I think all those memberships have come to an end as well. Mbent. I don't control that channel. I don't think it actually even exists anymore. I think it's been completely eliminated, removed, and I can't. I have no way of YouTube's policy and Google's policy, Gmail, is that your identity is your own responsibility. Yeah. All right. Daily. I don't know, Manu. I went through it all in my video in the live stream yesterday. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about swing trades here. We're talking about day trading. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. But I'm trying to focus in on day trading here. And in yesterday's live stream, Sunday Night Live, we focused on the markets in general and our swing trades and the geopolitical situations. And those are still the same. And that's why I'm long on natural gas and not short, as the system suggests I should be. So remember, this is not a swing trading system. This is just day trading. Totally, totally unrelated. Although we obviously try and be in the correct direction all the time on both systems. Don't want to be one, Yeah, I'm covering gold. Yeah. So these are the instruments that we're trading on the screen. Gold is long today, but we don't have an entry signal just yet. NASDAQ is long today. We don't have an entry. And natural gas is short today, but we don't have an entry. Although natural gas is now approaching the overbought condition on the RSI. It's still not there yet, but we are pushing up higher. And of course, we're long on our swing trades, so that's good news. Yeah, so we cover gold. Folks, this is, I've just noticed that this stream is public for some reason. I thought I'd set it up to be members only. So this stream is a members only stream. If you're not a member at Arcus FX, there's a link below, I think, below the video. where you can join, because we won't be doing this publicly every day. Yeah, there's a link below that says arcustrading.com private group. You can join the private group and participate in all of our swing trades and now the day trading too. And we swing trade all sorts of things, different things, stocks, stock names, commodities, metals, energies, different energies, oil, natural gas, lithium, uranium. We trade some of the softs and the grains, oil, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, copper, lithium, all the metals, and then NASDAQ, S&P, German 30, many of the stock names, and so on. Yeah. And obviously natural gas and crude oil. I'll probably do the Sunday night live streams, RN Bent, and maybe a couple during the week. But as I was saying earlier, we don't. This is not my business, YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber. I have a YouTube channel, but it's not my focus. My focus is on my private group members and my own trading. And so I think it was fortuitous that my YouTube channel got hacked. It was a big community and a lot of support required. It's interesting. The bigger the communities, I've got we're just at 13,800 on YouTube on ArcusFX, and about 11,000 something on X. So about 25,000 people in the community, and it's just a lot of support required. So it takes up an awful lot of time. And so I must focus on my paying members, obviously, folks that pay to be part of the private group are my priority and must always be. All right, so natural gas. Let's zoom in on this while we wait for Bitcoin. You can see natural gas is moving higher, and look at the RSI. It's just touching the overbought level. Last time that happened was on Monday. Well, that was today. Was that today? Yes, it's the same day. That was the gap. Sorry, I was thinking I was looking at 4-hour charts. This is a 5-minute chart. I've got to get adjusted to the short-term charts. So we gapped up. This was Sunday, late last night. And we're dribbling down. But look what we've just done. We've broken the trend line. And, we're looking to get short on this according to this system. But we've actually broken the trend line. It doesn't matter where you draw it. We can draw it from there or from there. In fact, that one's better because we broke it and retested it. I like that. So this is what natural gas has done on a 5-minute chart. It's always interesting to watch the short-term charts as well. It's something I don't do enough, I think, which I used to do all the time. And you get a lot more involved in your charts and the price action, and get to learn a lot more about the market and what its attitude is and its personality. We know what natural gas, the widowmaker, is known for, and it's moving up fast now on this 5-minute, and we're long. So that's good, but we're not long on this system, and this system is telling us to get short. The reason for that is because the green line, this line here, which is the 20-period moving average on the 4-hour chart transposed onto the 5-minute chart, is below this red line, which is the 20-period moving average on the day chart. Simple 20-period moving average, simple in both cases. This is the 20-period simple moving average on the day chart transposed onto the 5-minute. So the 4-hour 20 is below the day 20, giving us a short direction overall. We're now looking for short entry signals based on an overbought RSI and a level to trade from and a entry trigger based on candle patterns. We've got a couple of those things in place, but we have broken through through the trend line. Didn't manage to fill the gap completely. Almost, but not. We only got down to 264.7, and the bottom of the gap is at 264.3. So you could say close enough on a 5-minute chart, but there is a little piece missing there. And I love the way this is broken up, retested the top, in, off, and up we go. So we are looking to sell this based on this chart, but only if we get a very clear signal, and maybe we won't. And maybe, this will just keep moving up and we won't get a sell signal. We'll see. But it is moving up for now, and everything else is moving down. Yeah, thanks, mate. Lexor. Thanks, man. Look, it's not the end of the world, and no one died, and no one lost their shirt or their farm, and no one killed a kitten. So we're all good. Yeah, I think I answered that, N-bent. All right, some nice moves taking place here. Surging up on natural gas. Wow. It's good news for the longs, everyone. I don't think I can sit here all day long either. That's the other thing. So I'm going to figure out how to do this. I think when I spot a trade, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it's the trade might only come along in 7 hours' time. I can't sit here with you for 7 hours waiting for the trade. But what I can do is when the trade comes along, maybe do a stream. I don't know. We'll see. But lots of moving things now because the European markets and the UK markets open. And they obviously like the idea of buying natural gas. Let's have a look at the longer term chart. Let's go back to what we've got. Here's the natural gas 4-hour chart, our swing trading chart. Looking good. We've got to get through the 20. Remember I said the first thing we've got to do is close above 271. That's a very, very important level, and it goes back a long way. And it's also this ledge that we broke down through. It's also where the 20-period moving average is. It's where we are now. If we can close above there, I'll add some more, hoping then to break up through the top of this wedge. But I do like the way we've gapped up over the weekend. Of course, the name I was looking for was South Pars, by the way. Not oil fields, but the gas fields in the Straits. Not in the Straits, actually just in the Gulf, at the top end of the Gulf. The South Pars gas fields are always in jeopardy from both sides. And with the Straits and the agreement not being reached over the weekend, there's a little bit of concern about natural gas. I think that's the only reason it spiked up. There's no other reason, apart from maybe some repositioning. I talked all about this in the live stream yesterday, repositioning on the COT report of positioning of traders, and maybe some warmer weather coming up. But I think, all of it, just a little, not very exciting, right? Not much of a gap, just something. So even with all that stuff that could have driven it much higher pretty quickly, maybe we could have gapped up to the top of the wedge, straight over that 271 level, like natural gas often does, gapping over key levels that it finds difficult to get through. So gap over it up to the top of the thing there, but that's what I was hoping for. That's probably what should have happened, but there's no real other impetus for natural gas apart from those concerns. But the weather might change any moment now. It seems like it is going to. Let's go back to our day trading charts. So natural gas moving up. I don't know how for how far or how long. Gold moving down. All right. Now remember, we want to get long on gold, and we're now looking at gold as it starts moving down. And now the setups. We should start these live streams a bit later, actually. And normally I'll start the live streams when the setups occur. Not the price action, not the trigger, but the setups. And then we can start looking. Natural gas moving down. But look at gold. Yeah, so look at the RSI starting to move lower and droop down. But we're looking for an oversold RSI. Did we fill this gap? Yes, we did. We've completely filled the weekend overnight gap. Gold gapped down. We've filled the gap. And now the decision point is here. Are we going to move down having filled the gap and carry on moving down, like gold maybe is want to do based on what my analysis was on the live stream last night? Or now that we've filled the gap, are we going to pursue the upside even further after perhaps a little bit of a dip, which is occurring now? These are the sorts of thoughts you've got to put into your trades. And, I can teach you guys a whole lot about how to trade in these sessions. But you've got to put the due diligence and effort in yourself to try and learn the stuff that I'm teaching you. I've come to over 33 years of trading. I was never mentored. I was never taught. I read a lot of books. I got all the books, all the best books, like Donald Trump would say, all the best books. I got all the books. So I studied myself literally by reading books, putting texture yellow marks in expensive textbooks that cost hundreds of dollars, texting in those textbooks because the stuff that I learned in them was so important and that I wanted to remember. And I taught myself. And I met a man in Australia who taught me how to trade in 1995, I think it was. An old man, my age, I suppose, my age now. I was much younger. In 1995, I was 31 years younger than I am now, which would have made me 29. Yeah, 29 years old. Crazy, right? Anyway, so I taught myself, and you would do well to do the same. Don't rely on, I know a lot of people rely on YouTube and mentors, so-called, on YouTube and Twitter and so on, but do the hard work, buy the books. Start with the candlestick books, Steve Nissen. Buy all the books, read them, text mark them. And I promise you, what you'll learn in the streams with me is the best stuff you'll learn anyway. And I'm not being braggadocious. I'm just saying that I've just got a lot of stuff in my head after so long. Not because I'm brilliant, because I've been doing it a long time. So yeah. Now I'm rambling as we wait for the markets. This is what happens in live streams too, when the markets are not, when there's nothing going on. Yeah, so thanks, Lexor. I think I did say it. Yeah, we've talked all about this. Better to come when the US session starts. Yeah, sometimes the London session. Gold and natural gas inversely correlated. Yeah, well, it's risk on, risk off. Simple as that. Gold goes up when there's uncertainty. Natural gas goes down when oil prices go up, so they do tend to correlate at those times. Yeah. So how come you long? Julian, what do you mean there, mate? How come you long TRRM are both long? Oh, long term. So how come you long term are? I don't know what you mean, Julian. I'm not sure. I'm bullish on assets. Bullish on assets. So that includes NASDAQ, Bitcoin, and gold, long term, but also short term, based on the charts that we've got going on here. All right, natural gas moving down, folks, and we have a spike high. We've got to get short here. I'm going to sell natural gas right now. I'm going to sell 1,000 of these units. And I'm not asking you to do what I'm doing. This is nothing to do with the swing trading account. Don't get confused. I'm now going to put my stop losses and so on in place. And let's have a look now. Where did this sit? The stop losses. No stop loss in place. All right. That's okay. Let's go back to the 5 minutes. Have a look at the 15-minute chart. So we've gone short. Let's just edit this. How do I edit this? We don't want to reverse. I've forgotten how to do this. How do we put the stop loss in? I think we've got to go here. Right, so we're short. We want the stop loss pretty tight. I think I want it at 2.68 plus the spread 271. So let's put the stop loss at 271. It's got to go into this trade position in gas. protect position. Here we go. So let's put that at stop loss at 271 and take profit. I think let's just put that at 2.5 for now. All right. Remember, folks, this is for now, it's a demo account, which I've set up here on TradingView. I showed you earlier, but I will be using this paper trading system on TradingView, but I will be setting up, we'll be doing this live going forward. I'm doing this really just to test out this live stream setup. So I put the stop loss on the short. Remember, there's a spread involved here, so it's got to be, ideally, I just want the stop loss to be above those highs. But adding on the 2-point spread, which is very high on this day trading, on this paper trading account for some reason, it's a very high spread, but it's, okay, I'm just going to have to leave it there, confirm. And then the target, let's set down at 2.5, which is down there. Just a round number. All right, we may not get to the target. We may, I don't know. But for now, that's the setup. So I don't think this, look, this is the day trading system. I don't want you to follow this. I'm showing you how it works. And I'm bullish on natural gas, but this is what the system is giving me. And sometimes I'm wrong, you know. It doesn't matter whether I'm bullish or bearish. The system is giving me a sell signal here. And so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go back to the 5-minute chart, reset the scale. And so we've got a trade on. We're short on natural gas, minus $26 there. And I'm looking to buy Bitcoin. It's still oversold on the RSI. Also looking to buy NASDAQ and gold, but they don't have a setup just yet. Although gold did get almost oversold over here. Not close enough though. But also forming a bit of a bounce candle there, which might be a buy signal. Nevertheless, let's see how we go. We didn't get the oversold RSI, so there's no trade. But we did get it on Bitcoin. All right. Let's see if I can stand up here and walk to the other side of the room. Don't really want to. I think the camera is going to follow me. I just wanted to switch that main light out. And you got a little bit of a view of my office, I suppose, over here. TV, desk, bookshelf with paraphernalia, surfboard, Bitcoin sign, and me, and the gimbal camera following me around the room. All right. Maybe I should take a wee step away from the screen. I like this natural gas short, by the way. Swing trading aside, I like the setup on the short-term chart. It might not go short for long, you know, maybe just down to the bottom of the range and bounce back up again. But I do like the setup here. I like that candle. I like the overbought RSI. I like the fact that we've got a very strong downtrend still. It hasn't reversed just yet, although COT positioning seems to be swinging around. When you're trading day trading short-term charts, no one cares about the COT report, right? We don't care about the COT report or what's happening in the South Pars gas fields or how many oil storage facilities Ukraine struck over the weekend. We just don't care. Right, now Bitcoin is doing a thing here. And, oops, wrong chart. Kind of like it, actually. It's getting used to these. Right, is that a bounce out? We didn't quite have that sweep, although maybe it's a second sweep. I wouldn't mind another quick sweep below that level, to be honest. I know this is getting a little discretionary, but unless we see something, maybe just something like that. I don't know. Maybe just take out that low there fractionally, but maybe not. We're long on Bitcoin in our swing trade accounts. Maybe we can get long here as well. We've got a bit of a ledge underneath us that we've got to get through, above us rather. And the other thing about day trading is I want you to realize that you don't have to be frantic. You don't have to be trading off 1 minute charts or tick charts like a mad person. You can trade off 5 minute charts and do it sensibly. It gives you enough time. 3 minute charts are a bit fast too, but 5 minute charts give you enough time to go about your business calmly and peacefully, and also get a good read on the charts. I know it's popular to trade 3 minute charts these days. When I started, 5 minutes was the minimum, and that was, good, and it worked. And everyone knew exactly what the rules were. The moving average were simple moving averages, not exponential or weighted or VWAPs or DMAs or EMAs or what's the other one? EZMAs and so on. None of that stuff. Just simple 5 minute candles, regular simple moving averages. Call me an old fart, if you will. But, we've been around, us old farts, been around the block a bit, and we know kind of what works and what doesn't. It's like the old guy that you meet out in the outback, the old Aboriginal guy, who says, don't go down that way because you'll die of thirst and exhaustion. Go this way because there's water. Well, you go the way he told you to go because he knows what he's talking about. And he's lived there a long time. He knows the landscape, knows the perils. The dangers are the most important things to know about, of course, not the upsides. Better the devil, than anything else. Same with trading. All these sweeps and fake outs and algo bursts and manipulation by banks and all this sort of thing is all stacked up against you. And so you've got to understand the neighborhood. It's a tough hood. It's a tough neighborhood. You're dealing with ruthless people that are only about money and not about human beings. That's the financial world. You've got to be tough yourself and ruthless. And don't get swayed by every fad that comes along. If there's been a fad, I've seen it. I've seen every one of them. That the latest in the last 10 years, I suppose, was ICM, or whatever, ICM and the trap system, whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called. Spring. All of that, everyone became an ICM trader. Some guy, I watched the guy on YouTube once. What an appalling person. What a terrible man. And he swears at people, and he's arrogant and rude. I can't remember his name. I don't even want to know it. But, these are the sort of people that you've got to avoid, honestly. Yes, that is what's got to be avoided. Now, what are you referring to there, Manu? And Manu, are you from New Zealand or from one of the islands around that area? Because I am of New Zealand descent. Believe it or not, my mother was a Kiwi. She's dead now. She died a long time ago. She died when she was 40. She died when she was 20 years younger than I am now, which is sad, isn't it? Anyway, she was from New Zealand. Manu, are you from New Zealand? All right, NASDAQ ticking up as we speak. So the Europeans like a bit of NASDAQ, like a bit of Bitcoin, and not so much the gold. Now, what are they doing with silver? Let's see. Silver ticking up a little bit, but gold's doing quite well, to be honest, compared to the others. NASDAQ and S&P, well, we bought the dip literally as the markets opened, the lowest point that we could. We got long on NASDAQ, long on S&P last night. And we're already 100 and something. We got along at 8. We're at $120 points up on NASDAQ and the same on S&P, and we've already got other longs. So I'm really building up a good long position on these names. Bitcoin, iffy, talked about it in the live stream. Dollar, we're short, looking for a move back up into that zone. So I think the dollar could rally a little bit now and push everything else down for a little bit, just up to the 20-period moving average, and then down is my plan, something like that. Try and get short on the dollar index again. We did get short over here, and we got out at the bottom. We haven't resold. Sorry, we got long actually. We got short and long, but we're not in a trade at the moment. And we came into this moving average cluster, held up there. I got out, and we've got a gap from this weekend. So we may have to close that, watching that one. But if it does moves, ignores the gap, keeps moving down, probably will fill the gap. They don't often leave gaps behind, but if it fills the gap and moves down, or it just keeps moving down, that's when the other assets will start moving up, I think. But we do want to see dollar down and the oil price moving down. And the oil price indeed has not moved up since the weekend gapped up, but natural gas has. So everything's looking okay so far. Precious metals moving up. Copper, we've got a good long position on copper now. That's looking very strong. Natural gas holding well after the weekend gap, bouncing out there quite nicely. And then back to the short-term charts. There goes Bitcoin. We've got to get long again. So I'm going to go one long Bitcoin right now. All right, so we're now long on Bitcoin. Let's put the stop loss. I don't know how to do this. How do we change this? It used to be you could just click on it. Why is it not doing that now? Very annoying. Protect position. Oh, you've got to right click on it. That's weird. Okay. So we want the stop loss down here at 75.40. 540. Let's make it 530. I don't like using fours. I don't like using round numbers. And then the target, I'm going to set at 74,000, but we'll bring that in. But let's just set it wide to start with. Okay, so we're long on Bitcoin, one Bitcoin long, and we're short on natural gas. Now, we're also, generally, we're long on gold and NASDAQ, all moving up quite quickly, including natural gas. So natural gas might be the one that we get wrong on the short-term trading system here, but we are long on natural gas in our swing trades. We're now long on Bitcoin on the short-term trades too. I took one full Bitcoin. That's not quite the same size as a standard contract on currencies. So, if you come from a forex trading background like I do, standard contract's $100,000. A mini contract's $10,000. But these days, it's all fluid. You can trade whatever size you want, really. But a standard contract's $100,000, and one Bitcoin is $71,000. So it's not quite the same size as a standard contract on forex, but it's close enough. And so it's quite familiar when Bitcoin's around $100,000 because I trade in contract sizes of $100,000. So it makes it kind of easier for me in a small way. But I've just taken one contract, one Bitcoin long here in this example. It's a demo account. Do not trade it live. It's for demonstration only. And when I'm trading this live with real money, I'll let you know. That would be probably tomorrow. It's weird how people find their way here because there are some folks in here that are not part of the private group. and have found their way to the stream. I don't know how. It's not, it's not published. It's not sort of advertised anywhere. It's just in YouTube, vaguely on YouTube somewhere. I didn't expect anyone to be here at all. Anyway, Bitcoin now moving up quite nicely. So is natural gas, though. Everything moving up. Let's go back to the longer term charts. As the dollar ticks down, as I said, as the dollar moves down, it will tend to push everything else up. And on this chart, which is the master page, you can see the ones that we're most interested in. Dollar index moving down, Bitcoin not much, not very exciting, hovering. But NASDAQ moving up, S&P moving up, silver holding the 20 period and moving up, gold moving up, holding the 20 and the 100 cross. WTI hovering below the gap, might have to fill it. Might have to. And then natural gas sort of semi-filled the weekend gap. No, you can't see that in the corner. Semi-filled the weekend gap. Not quite. Missing a tick. And holding quite well. It's still allowing for that sort of thing to happen. So yeah, that's it. Let's go back to the this page. So folks, what I'm going to do probably is finish this off in, let's see what we've been doing. We've been going for 1 hour and 30 minutes now. I think that's quite long enough. But what I'll do is, as soon as we start, what I'll do is I'll set up a channel in the members circle group for the day trading, and I'll put that up there and make comments on these as we go along, and maybe restart the stream if there's something super interesting going on these charts. But for now, we have 2 trades open: long on Bitcoin and short on natural gas. I'll be right back. All right, testing. Yeah, we're back. What's oil doing? Not a lot. $97. Everything else is moving around quite a lot. Gold, Bitcoin. Not as a result of oil by the looks of it. Yeah, so they're Bitcoin moving down now. All right, folks, what I'm going to do is I'll follow this up in the private group in text and post up these charts as we go along. But I might start another session up when the US markets open. Probably will. We'll be looking at trading NASDAQ and, in addition to what we've got going on. So this was just a tester. I've already recorded one video, which I'm going to put up in the private group as a teaching video. And this one was just a tester. I obviously can't sit here all day, every day. But I'm sort of trying to kickstart this thing off. So thanks for being here, for those few people who managed to find your way here. And I'll see you in the next stream. Any questions from members while I'm here still? Fire away if you've got any questions. I'll wait for a minute. All right. I'll see you in the next stream, folks. I'll try and get this going again at the start of the New York session later today. So probably just for the private group members. So make sure to look out for that in the group chat. I haven't covered gold and bent. This is day trading, mate. I'm not doing analysis here. We're just reacting to signals. The signal is that we should be buying gold, but we're waiting for a setup. There's no setup yet, but the direction is long today on gold. Okay, folks. See you later on in the members live stream when the New York session starts, and we'll follow up on these trades and see if we can pick up some real good live day trades there too. Thanks, mate. Thanks for popping in. Mr. Bent 2799. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We're just messing around a little bit. So, all right, let's get back to these charts. So bouncing now, gold and Bitcoin, a little bit off this 5-minute chart. You might also want to use other things like VWAP. A lot of people use volume weighted average price, VWAP, any other indicators that you might like to use. We're really just trying to pick a direction and find an entry. It's as simple as that. Day trading is not complicated. You don't need 100 indicators. You don't need RSI, MACD, stochastic, and whatever the other ones are. Let's have a look. Oscillators. Let's see how many there are. There we go. Oscillator. Look at them all. So you could have on your chart, theoretically, let's say, if you wanted to really be watertight when you get your entry trigger, you could have the Klinger oscillator, the Arun, Awesome, Chaikin, Ultimate, and SMA ergodic indicator oscillator on your charts, all layered up like that, one above the other. And maybe the price momentum's good. And I have to add in a few of these other ones, maybe the Ichimoku. And an Elliott wave oscillator too, because Elliott waves are important. And there's a few others that I kind of like as well. What about the divergence indicator and the Bollinger Band breakout indicator? So you could put all of these on your chart, up to you. And I've only got one. So, and I probably don't even need that either. That's the RSI, but it does bring a little bit of discipline in that you only ever go when the RSI is overextended and in the correct direction. And if you stick to those two rules and just look for any entry trigger of your choosing, in my case, it's just a candlestick or a sweep or a gap, something in the price action, not in the oscillators. So I don't use the oscillators to get in and out of trades. No crossovers, no triggers. No, none of that. Yeah. All right. Okay, folks, it's been wonderful. I see it. A lot more folks are coming into this room. Maybe I should hang around a little bit more. There are 12 people here, a massive 12 people. Welcome to all the other 12, 2 or 3 that have come in. Welcome to the new Arcus FX without 13,700 subscribers, with only about 100 or something. I don't know how many subscribers we have, but it's definitely not many. I think we should put some music on, In fact, you know what we should do? Bingo. I think we should go through my Arcus FX playlist for a little bit, at least, anyway, until everyone gets annoyed. Trading album #1. There's some golden oldies here that you may not have heard for a while. You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, babe. Trading you get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Honey, trader, baby, mine. You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. Get a whip and I get a saw. Ride that trend right to the end. I'll put this microphone on dual direction for conversations. What do we do when we show a loss? Give that daggone loss a talk. So Bitcoin bouncing, nat gas bouncing. How do we know when our risk is right, babe? How do we know when our risk is right? We make a lot of money. What do we do when we show love? So Bitcoin bouncing, nat gas bouncing. What do we do? What do we do when the price goes through? I stop showing, so there's nothing to do. What do we do with a hot news flash, honey? What do we do with a hot news flash, babe? What do we do with a hot news flash? We stash that flash right in the trash. Well, let's try that one on acid. Yeah, you get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw. You get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. Trend baby mine. What do we do when we catch trend, honey? What do we do when we catch trend? Hey, what do we do when we catch? Yeah, you get a whip and I get a saw. You get a whip and I get a saw. Yeah, that doesn't really work, does it? The sound. I wonder if we can put some background music on. Is this annoying? Is it too loud, or is it too soft, or is it just annoying? Give me a. I don't know if we want that one anyway.
Down at Zanzibar, where the trade winds blow. Yeah, we got that Zanzi gas rocking the show. Nat gas kings, we trade those swings. Climbing high with divided breeze. Pipelines buzzing under the coastal sun. Profit margins trending with number one. From the harbor to the hills, the market thrills. Zanzi gas, the treasure fills. Zanzi gas, moving fast. Ooh, king of the swing. You'll never outlast. From the depths to the heights, feel the might. Yeah, Nat gas king, ruling the night. Export dreams on those shiny seas. Trading energy, living with ease. From dollars to dinars, we're holding the keys. Lighting up the world as cool as a breeze. Feel that beat, get on your feet. Zanzi gas is the game you can't beat. Ride the wave, make it brave. With every drop, the price is crave. Zanzi gas, moving fast. Ooh, king of the swing. You'll never outlast. From the depths to the heights, feel the might. Yeah, Nat gas king, ruling the night.
All right, well, I'm still here. I wonder how long you can run these things for. I wonder how long the computer will last, and the stream software, and the buffering, and whatever else goes on in computers. Dreams on those shiny seas. Trading energy, living with ease. From dollars to dinars, we're holding the keys. Lighting up the world as cool as a breeze. Feel that beat, get on your feet. Zanzi gas is the game you can't beat. Ride the wave, make it brave. With every drop, the price is crave. Zanzi gas, moving fast. Ooh, king of the swing. You'll never outlast. From the depths to the heights, feel the might. Yeah, Nat gas king, ruling the night.
Down to Zanzibar, where the trade winds blow. Yeah, we got that Zanzi gas rocking the show. Nat gas kings, we trade those swings. I'm up before the dawn, eyes glued to the screen, watching those candlesticks like a gambling fiend. Futures and options, longs and shorts, price swings that cut like a knife through the heart. Henry Hub's a battleground, bulls against the bears, whispers of a cold front send us in the scares. Margins tight, margin calls, nerves they fray, wondering if I'll see green by the end of the day. I'm a natural gas gambler, riding that fiery storm, excitement and fear, that's just how I was born. Greed's got me in its claws, profit's just a taste in this wild making race. There's no time to waste, tickers flashing red and green, it's a hellish sight. Spread so thin, take a wrong turn and you might. Speculators and hedgers, we're all in this game, betting on the weather, it's a high-stakes frame. Liquidity's my lifeline, volatility my muse. Every price jump a heartbeat, every dip a bruise. Hedge funds, retail traders, we're all in the blend, chasing that dollar till the market sends. I'm a natural gas gambler, riding that fiery storm, excitement and fear, that's just how I was born. Greed's got me in its claws, profit's just a taste in this wild making race. There's no time to waste. Liquidity's my lifeline, volatility my muse. Every price jump a heartbeat, every dip a bruise. Hedge funds, retail traders, we're all in the blend, chasing that dollar till the market sends. I'm a natural gas gambler, riding that fiery storm, excitement and fear, that's just how I was born. Greed's got me in its claws, profit's just a taste in this wild maker's race. There's no time to waste. Early morning coffee, screens light up to the sky, staring at them tickers, watching crude supply. Got my charts already, newsfeed by my side. It's a Wild West market in it for the ride. WTI swinging like a cowboy's lasso, bullish or bearish, there ain't no way to know. Heading down to Houston, where the deals are made, praying for good fortune in this risky trade. Black gold dreams riding on the line, pumps and pipelines in the drawdown time. Fortunes won and lost in the blink of an eye. Black gold dreams reaching for the sky. Sway,
Yeah. So gold. Let's look at gold. Not quite there yet on the RSI. Bitcoin ticking up though. Natural gas sideways, still at a big spike. It's not long yet. We'll see. So we're short on natural gas on this system. Not our swing trades. I'm long on natural gas on my swing trades. And I'm long on Bitcoin and also long on my swing trades.
Riding on the line, pumps and pipelines in the drawdown time. Fortunes won and lost in the blink of an eye. Black gold dreams reaching for the sky. Black gold dreams reaching for the sky.
Okay, folks, I'm going to catch you in the New York session in a few hours' time. I'll see you later. Hope it was useful. Yeah, AI songs. Yeah. I've got a lot of AI songs. See you later, everyone. Hi there, I'm James. I'm the founder of ArcusFX. I'd like to personally invite you to join our 24/7 trading group. This is built for traders who want an edge. Inside, you'll get access to live calls on Forex, commodities, crypto, energies, and metals, along with exclusive daily analysis designed to unlock your trading potential. And this in both traditional and now in digital markets. I'm talking Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, and tethered currencies. You'll gain early access to insider news, real-time updates, real-time support, and premium educational content. If you want to sharpen your skills and boost your success rate, then join me and Paul in this community. This is a fast-growing community of traders who are now writing their own success stories. So don't wait. Join up now. Your edge starts right here.